Let's do one more thing here before moving on. Now, in the lesson on getting started, that chapter, we had an area that talked about file info, and we made something called a metadata template. So we've already done one of those. But when we did that in Photoshop, we were applying it to images one at a time. So we're going to do that again, and we're going to apply it to a whole bunch of images. But before we do that, let's revisit keywords one more time. Because to me, it's such a simple thing to do. And if you've got tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of images, it is so easy if you just take a minute and apply some simple keywords. I know every image in this set was taken at Kripalu. So let's do this first. Go into keywords and open up places. See, I don't see a Kripalu in there. New York, Paris, San Francisco, San Jose, and Tokyo. So make sure you're selecting the word places and then click the sub keyword button here and we'll call that Kripalu. What I'll do now is come over here and select everything, Control A, and just click that button. Now with that one simple step, which took what, 60 seconds, I now have the ability to find these images instantly just by typing in indefined Kripalu. So it really is important, I think, that you do that. But let's get to metadata. That's right here. In metadata, we have all the information about these images. Now we're looking at all of them at the same time, but if we just open one, you can see the metadata for that image. If you click this button right over here, you have an option to create a metadata template, but we can also edit. If you remember the metadata template that we created in Photoshop, I called it generic. It's here too. And why wouldn't it be? This is an Adobe product. But if we want to create a new one, we click here. Now you'll notice that although the information we have is basically the same as what we did when we made one of these in Photoshop, it is displayed a little bit differently. So let's start with a template name for this, like Kripalu. Shoot. If we open up IPTC Core, for example, the city is Kripalu. The creator state and the two-letter code for that, I believe, is MA. If I'm wrong, you can let me know. Country is USA. You get it. Put in here any information that would not change for all of the images if you were shooting in Kripalu. Now, it already has our keyword. Remember, we did that. And you can add more with a comma here if you want to. Let's close that out. Let's just look at one more, GPS. Now, I confess I don't remember offhand the latitude and longitude of Kripalu, but I do know the altitude's about 600 meters. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in. And you could do whatever you want to here. Let's go ahead and save it. Now, if we come back over here again, we now have, if we get into append, we now have another one. Now, we can choose to append to one, but like I said, this is a generic template that helps us out. We'll press Control A, select everything, then come back over here again and go into append or replace, depending on what you want to do here. And we're going to append Kripalu Shoot. And that metadata information is now applied to all of the images at Kripalu. Metadata information to me is very important because we can search for it. But the cool thing is, in Bridge, you can apply it to multiple images at the same time, and that makes it valuable. On to the next.